Good morning. Welcome to my YouTube channel. To my returning subscribers, thank you for stopping by. If you're new on this channel, please do well to subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you. Today we'll be drafting a standard basic block bodice. A standard basic block bodice. And the measurements we'll be working with is a bust of 42, waist of 40, shoulder of 17, and half length of 16, bust point of 11. We together? So here you divide your bust circumference by 4. 42 divided by 4 will give us 10.2. Your waist divided by 4, 40 by 4 will give us 10. Our shoulder, so like we know our shoulder is divided by 2, our bust by 4, our waist by 4. So let's get down to business. Your start line, you make a line, form a line of half an inch at the beginning of your margin, which is going to serve as your start line this way, and you connect. I believe you can see it. So from the beginning of your start line, we are going to place our horizontal measurements. From here, remember our bust point is 11. You make a mark at 11 inches. Our half length is 16. You make a mark at 16 inches. You make same mark here. So having made a mark at our bust point and our half length, what we are going to do now is to connect, to form a straight line this way. Form a straight line this way. Can you see? Then our half length of 16. We equally connect. So this is our waist. This is our bust point. And this is our half length. So what we'll have here at the beginning is our shoulder line. After our shoulder line, we'll get our bust points. After our bust points, the next we'll have here is our half length. So now we are going to create our horizontal measurements. Like I told us, we are working with a shoulder of 17. 17 divided by 2 is 8.5. 8.5, you make a point mark at 8.5 plus half inch. I want to join my allowances to this pattern paper, so when I'll be drafting in my fabric, there will be no need of adding extra allowance. So I'll put half an inch here. Our bust is a bust of 42 divided by 4 is 10.2. Our bust is 10.2. We're working with 2 inches sewing allowance, but this is it. We're working with a waist of 40. by 4, we have 10 plus 2 inches sewing allowance. We have it here. So the next thing we're going to do is connect from our bust point, our waistline this way. Bust point our waistline this way. Then after which we'll come back here to the shoulder line to construct our armhole. And before you do that, you form your shoulder slope by coming down here. Come down here for your shoulder slope by 1 inch. I'm working with a neck width of 3.5. From your shoulder slope, you connect to the 3.5 this way to form your. Now from this shoulder slope, you place your armhole. I'm using the same thing I have as my shoulder to form my armhole. My shoulder is 8.5, so I'll be working with an armhole of 8.5 this way to make sure it's equal. 8.5 here, 8.5 here. Then I will connect. I'll connect it this way. So this is my armhole line this way. This is for my armhole. So now I'll get the mid of my armhole. 8.5 divided by 2. The midpoint is here. At this midpoint, you come in for your armhole effect. Armhole trimming, you come in by 1/2 inch. Either you use your free hand or you use your curve to connect. Here's my curve. So I'm going to, at this midpoint, I came in by 1/2 inch. Then I will connect this point to here that I came in by 1/2 inch down to this place. To be more accurate, you come out here by 1 inch. Make a point. So you're going to connect through here, 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 and to this line. Just this way. You go this way, this way. Sorry if I'm blocking you. So this is our armhole perfectly curved for the front armhole. To create the back armhole, because okay, we are going to drop the back separately. The next thing you're going to do is put your shoulder allowance of 1/2 inch here, here, and you connect 1/2 inch shoulder allowance. You're going to use this allowance to join the shoulder front to the shoulder back. So this is it. Then at this point, you can create a neckline of your choice. What I want to make is a high neck. So I'll be using, I have 3.5 inches width. I'll be using 3.5 by 3 inches depth. 3 inches depth. 3 inches depth. I'll connect this way. Then create. So I'm going to go through the process again. Like we said, this is our start line, which we labeled our shoulder line. After our start line, from this shoulder line to here is our bust point. From the shoulder line to here is our half length of 16. After which, we formed our neckline of 3.5 width by 3 inches depth. From here now, we created our shoulder line. Our shoulder, we're working with a shoulder of 8.5. From here, the edge here to this place is 8.5. For your shoulder sloping, you come down by 1 inch. Connect it back to the neckline. After which, you put your shoulder allowance of half an inch. Half an inch here, half an inch here. Use your ruler to connect. That is it about this part. Now for your armhole, we have various formulas of finding our armhole, but me, I prefer using what I have as my shoulder for my armhole. I'm working with a shoulder of 8.5, so I used an armhole of 8.5. From here to here is 8.5. I got the midpoint of 8.5, which is here. Came in by half an inch. Then at this angle 90, I came up by 1 inch. Then connected using my curve, my armhole curve, this. From here through here, here to make this curve we'll have here. Thereby forming my standard armhole. Now here I placed my horizontal measurements. I'm working with a bust of 42. From here to this point is 10.2. I added 2 inches sewing allowance. Then from here, my half length, I placed my waist measurement of 40 divided by 4 is 10. From here to here is 10 plus 2 inches allowance I connected. So this is basically a standard basic block that can be manipulated in any way you want, depending on the style you want to make. For instance, from here you can make a princess dart. You can form your princess dart. You can equally create your princess dart bustier. You know how we do it, but in this case, when you want to do a bustier, you're going to use the under bust measurements. There will be another line in between these two lines. That is on what we are talking about today. For now, we are just making a plain basic bodice, and that is what we'll have here. I'm going to cut it now and show you. Watch me closely as I cut. This is how you're going to cut it. Follow the line, cut behind the line, place your hand this way. Remember, the second line is our shoulder allowance. So I'm not cutting from here. I'll cut from this other line. Then you cut your neckline. So this is it's your basic